rock solid.
So you got good competition, but you also got to look at the state course, and some of these kids maybe haven't seen that course before. But how important is it to get that feel?
Great, great importance to kind of get down there, get that feel, and get kind of that big meet atmosphere on how things just kind of pick up, and having that competition instead of being out there and leading that pack, and being a part of that, and just it's just all the above of just kind of getting that full full package experience of course seeing the course of what that is, and yeah.
How does that course lay out for your runners, for your team, do you think?
I think it's pretty comparable to some of the things that we see for some of our races, especially our home meet at the John Hermes, of just kind of it's kind of that same format of it's just some rolling hills there. So I think we fare well on that, and we're not always particularly racing and chasing our fastest 5K time. We're out there just trying to be able to compete, and put ourselves with our best foot forward on how we're gonna approach each week. I know some teams, they're just trying to get out there, and maybe they rank chase a little bit about just trying to get that super fast 5K early, but you just gotta know that that's not what the state course is, right? So if we're gonna race on flat surfaces all year, we're gonna have a pretty big wake up call come November.
You had Sam Rasmussen and Brody Nelson finish like within 3 or 4 spots of each other. They seem like they've kind of grabbed onto the 1-2 spots right now. Is that a fair assessment?
It's starting to be. Yep, they're shaping into that. I know Brody's kind of easing more into some fitness. Sam's just a go getter, and he loves to just get out there and be a part of that chase. But he's definitely latching on to that fitness part of that too. Brody surged on. I think it was probably, at the mile mark, Brody was probably 10, 15 seconds behind him. But, as the race went on, he just kind of got in there and went on. And Mike has just been pretty rock solid with that 3 spot too. But, those guys have kind of interchanged a little bit, and, where it goes.
And one of your younger guys, Dexter Felstool, has kind of really made an impact now. He's starting to kind of get comfortable maybe at the varsity level.
Yep, and he's getting comfortable. He's getting on that 5K spot. As a freshman, you're just kind of you're transitioning from your 2-mile race, and you could see that as when he raced last year of where he was at. He was up in the top parts of every race, and you can just kind of see he's going to have an impact when he comes as a freshman. He's been up there with all the training things, and I think he's going to have a pretty big time drop this week of just where things are and where he's been at with the races. We've just been kind of running into some tough courses for us to kind of see that that time piece part of it, but these guys are competing, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, you get a feel for that as coaches too. When a youngster is getting close to making a move and hitting a certain time or goal, that's something that kind of goes along with your territory, right? I mean, you watch these kids all year and know what they're doing, and you get a feel that, hey, he's about to do this.
Yep, absolutely. I know it's data analytics on all that stuff of just kind of seeing, well, what did you do here, and if you did that here. And that's kind of what I've been telling the kids, is just like, well, our next week here, we're probably going to see kind of similar what happens with DL, of we're going to see a 30 to 40 second time drop here of just kind of what we've had and what we've been experiencing. So
well, with Sam and Brody and Micah and Dexter in that top 4 right now for you, you've got quite a battle for that number 5, 6, 7 spot. How many kids are kind of in the mix there as you look toward postseason as far as filling out that varsity roster? Are there a number of kids still battling for one of those top 7?
there are. We got about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of some kids it'll click for a race, and then all of a sudden we got another one in there. So right now we've got Braden Haugen and Isaac Jank and Um, Noah Schlosser's in there. Noah's kind of double dipping here with soccer, and he got to race with us in the John Hermes, and he slid in there again. He was in there when he raced with us in Staples. So depending on how their season goes for soccer, he might be a little bit more available for us too. But it's exciting stuff. We've got Lewis Leonard, who's got a spot in there too. It's these guys are doing awesome things for how young they are and where we are in the season.
So, and Eric Swanson's another one.
Eric Swanson, yep, he's senior. He was one of those guys too. He raced on Ricori on Thursday. He raced at Roy Griak. He is president of student council. He's on royalty for homecoming. So, I mean,
what's he doing in his spare time?
I know he was probably feeling way more than I was, for feeling the fatigue and stuff. And he's the things these kids do to
it's amazing
to stay busy is
the energy they have.
Yep.
Yeah. Derek Myers, the head coach of the Otter Boys cross country team, starting out our program here today, and the Coaches Show is presented by the Viking Cafe. And every week we give away a $25 gift certificate from the Viking. How do we get that, you might wonder? Well, all you have to do is text Viking to 321-1926. That's Viking to 321-1926. And at the end of the show, we'll have a drawing and present that $25 gift certificate. So thanks to Pat Scholl at the Viking Cafe for being our presenting sponsor. Well, Derek, after that experience at the Roy Griak, and I know Nikki was here last week, and she said, I got to catch a bus. And she took off because you guys hit the road, drove to the cities, competed, had that day down there, came back, and prepared for your home meet to the John Hermes. Now, I mentioned Thursday morning on the sports that it might be a little warm for the runners today from what they usually are experiencing here in late September. How did that affect your approach to the race or affect the kids? Was it a factor at all?
It's a factor. We've been blessed as Minnesotans to have an extended summer here, and it's going to keep going. We got it for our training week, so we're acclimated to it. It's definitely it factors into the kids' times. Really hits them onto that. Second and third mile of where they're going to have a little bit more fatigue. They're probably feeling a little bit loose. Maybe they went out in their first mile a little bit too quick. And so a lot of things that went into that. But, it was a great day to be a spectator. We had great competition there. The Otters fared well. Sam Rasmussen was the individual champion of the meet for the boys. Then we had Brody and Micah were within that top 10. And then Dexter Felstool came in fourth for us, just kind of missing that part. And I think it was Noel Schlosser that was fifth that kind of plugged in there.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 30-second PR, but he hadn't raced for, almost a month.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of where he's getting some fitness with soccer too. And the guys are doing well. So
this John Hermes, over the years, we've seen a lot of different weather over the years, but we've also seen a lot of different teams. And some years it's packed because this is your section course or your conference meet is going to be here. So you get all those teams who are going to be competing, wanting to see the course and run the course.
Right.
This year you had like one of the smaller fields that you've had. Does that differ in your approach at all? Do you differ anything when you know it's a smaller field, and are you more targeted on things, or how does that come into play, if at all?
Well, we're really trying to get more teams at our meet in that, and that's another factor of that. There's another meet that happened that kind of swoops some things out, but no, not too much of just kind of, it just gives you a little bit more focused opportunity to see where these guys are, and maybe we try to clump up a little bit more and race, as a pack. So.
And one of the great things about having a home meet like that, we have a fun run, first of all, for the elementary kids, and then you get the junior hires out there, and you get the JVers out there. You have a lot of races going on, which means a lot of kids get to experience that. And I'm sure the visiting teams appreciate that too.
Yep. Yeah, I think and definitely those that have their younger kids. Perm didn't race their full team, but they brought elementary kids to race with us too, and kind of gives that locale that part to be in there, and definitely involves more family members and community members to come out and experience a cross country meet. And I know it gets pretty packed up there with the parking and stuff and getting down, but it's the few hours that makes things exciting out at the golf course.
How was the course? Was it a pretty good? Obviously, it was in great shape, I'm sure.
Course was in great shape. There were some spots that we've had some rain, so then some of the low spots there was some stuff, but of course we always try to avoid that to not wreck the course and make things a little bit faster for running too. But yeah, otherwise things were great, and everybody is always it's a beautiful place to be, and it's one of the premier golf courses around our area.
Yeah, it's in great shape. The weather was good for it. A lot of rain, but it was pretty good shape right now. And I do want to mention on the girls' side, just Cassie Wellman had another great week. Carson Lill, who's double dipping in sports here too with tennis and cross country. They both had just great meets at the Roy Griak and at your John Hermes.
Yep. She's one of those premier runners in the state. She's rocking on, doing her thing, and we're just trying to lock in and really getting her spots of where she's going to be, and trying to just get Carson to just chase her down. And ultimate goal would be those two are running right next to each other, and I think Carson's really striving for that. At the John Hermes meet, she played tennis a couple hours before she came and ran. So I mean, this is awesome, but she loves to run, and she wants to compete, and she wants to be there with her teammates too. Those two girls are rocking and rolling, and they got some good things to look forward to.
Meet of Champions in Alexandria next week. You've got a week to train before that. What are the goals as you reach this point of the season, turn the calendar to October? How do you focus on that meet? What are you looking at right now?
Number one, come out healthy. Some kids got some bumps and bruises and aches and pains and sicknesses. So come through that with a longer training week, with it being on Saturday. We get a couple more days. Try to really dial our stuff in to come out fresh. We'll have maybe an extra harder practice in there to get them. So have that be part of that, and just kind of working on some of that race tuning and race fitness, because we're getting on that. And this is a big meet. There's going to be 22 teams there. The handful from the cities. I think Marshall's there. They're one of our top competitors in AA. Sioux Falls, Washington. So we have another they come up and have a little part of that. So yeah, some different stuff there.
Sounds good. Good luck next Saturday. Have a good week practice.
Yeah,
thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
All right. Derek Meyer, he's the head coach of the Otter Boys cross country team. We're going to shift gears, talk some football. Hey, the Otters are 5-0. Big win last night in Princeton, and we'll talk about it with Chris Grabowska after this timeout on the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands. Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls, and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the show, our Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, and they provide us with a great breakfast. Did you get your breakfast, Coach?
I did.
All right, yeah. Hash browns and eggs and ham.
Yeah, omelet, I think it was.
Omelet, yep, there we go. And yeah, hard to beat, folks. Definitely. Hey, I am going to give away, Pat Scholl is going to give away a $25 gift certificate. I just get to give it away to the Viking Cafe. And the way you get into the drawing for that is by texting Viking to 321-1926. That's 321-1926. And thanks to Running Stitches Embroidery for the caps. These are cool caps. I know a lot of people are wearing them around, the coaches. I know Chris has one, and he's a hat guy, as we've confirmed before on the program. So today he's wearing a very nice Fergus Falls football cap. So
yes.
Yeah, good variety. Great win, Coach. 5-0. What a great start. 19-1 in your first 20 games as auto coach. That's a pretty impressive run. But last night, we were just talking. You didn't have the ball a lot, but boy, when you had it, you made things happen.
Yeah, I think last night we were explosive on offense. We were able to score on some long plays, and we kind of knew that going into this game that Princeton defense does give up big plays, and we just try to look for those opportunities. As an offensive coach, you'd like to be on the field a little bit more and have the ball a little bit more, but we found ways to score and found a way to win.
Sometimes you get off the bus and things don't go well right away, and you found yourselves down 7-0 to Princeton on the road, and at that point, it can be kind of a wake-up call, like, oh, yeah, okay, we got to get together here and play football. Did you see the response you needed to see after that first touchdown?
Yeah, I love these boys. We had a lot of adversity last night with, things not going our way on defense side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, we had some penalties, and as well on defense too, but our boys battled. They didn't get down, and they just, dug their feet in and grinded it out to get the win.
Mark Johnson on the play-by-play talked about the penalties last week and this week. It seems like more penalty calls coming. When you review the film or the tape or the whatever it is now, the digital feeds, justified penalties? I mean, are there calls being made that you're going, what? Or are you kind of just slipping into that mode of, hey, we need to focus more and not commit these penalties?
Yeah, I think, most of them, I would say, are due to fatigue, mentally and physically. I would think we just got to start hammering home the message. When we're tired, we got to focus on our execution. We got to focus on our assignments and just execute those assignments. And some of them obviously are missed calls, but most of them are self-inflicted, and we just got to find a way to get rid of those penalties and not shoot ourselves in the foot.
Parker Tilke's back, and he made his presence felt last night. Eston Bethel connected with him on a touchdown pass to get you even in that first quarter. What does Parker allow you to do offensively, having him back in the mix at a receiver spot?
Well, he's another weapon out there. He's a bigger body. He's a physical receiver. He blocks well. He runs really, really good routes. So we had an opportunity where we thought we could single him up on their corner and ran like kind of a double route move with him, and he's a good route runner. So he was awarded with that touchdown just by his technique and going out and doing his job.
And your receivers have good hands. I mean, we know Isaiah has great hands and Parker has good hands. They catch the ball.
They do. Yeah, they're. I can count on one hand the number of drops we've had this year. Knock on wood, right?
Yep.
But no, that's it's just part of our DNA. It's part of what we do, and we couldn't get it done without receivers out there that don't catch balls.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big thing. You see it in the NFL every Sunday. Someone dropping a pass, it's right there. Drive you nuts. You also had a block punt from Avius Fullilove that set you up for the touchdown that gave you the 14-7 lead. Talk about your special teams and making a big play like that, because you had a couple of big special teams plays last night.
Yeah, we talk about it every week. Special teams is that third faucet of the game. We have to execute and we have to be explosive on special teams as well. Avius, we saw in film last week just the way they line up their punt with not having a personal protector. We're like, well, we should try to block one this week. And thankfully, Avius was able to get in there and get that one for us and get us on the scoreboard. And, yeah, we just love seeing those kind of plays and kids stepping up and making those plays.
Well, it can turn a game, where that was down deep in their territory, like you got the ball like at the 12-yard line and then punched it in right away with Caleb Froning, who's running pretty hard. Mark hit him for 97 yards last night and scored 2 touchdowns, had a nice 34-yard touchdown run later in the game. So you can stun a team. You get a big play like that, you better capitalize, right?
Exactly. Yep. It was great to see the run game come back last night, too. Zimmerman week, we kind of struggled in that department.
Yep.
So it was good to see us be able to run the ball again and move the ball that way. So kudos to our offensive line and running backs for getting that figured out this week.
Yeah, Mark, again, last night was just all over with compliments on the offensive line and the job they did. In fact, I think his quality player of the game was an offensive lineman last night. So, you got to have that up front, and you've been blessed in both of your years as head coach here to have that type of offensive lines.
Yeah, we just take the personnel we have. I know we don't have a lot of offensive linemen, and give credit to Steve Olson. He's a phenomenal offensive line coach. He teaches that position well, and it's because of him that we're able to produce those offensive linemen.
I talked about 2 big special teams plays. The next one was a 40-yard punt return for a touchdown by Isaiah Holmes. It gave you the lead. You never look back after that, but what a game breaker Isaiah can be.
Oh yeah, he's a phenomenal player. He showed a different gear last night, I thought, with his speed on the field, and that was really nice to see. His punt return, we worked on setting up a wall. Coach Tilke brought that back for us. He's did a great job teaching that in practice last week, and I thought Isaiah kind of baited him a little bit. I didn't know if he was going to return it, and all of a sudden he picks it up, and he had a wall set up for him, and no one touched him. So that was fun to see, and yeah, he's a game changer for us for sure.
So when that ball hits the turf and it's bouncing and you're wondering is he going to pick that up? Are you hoping he does it, or are you a little nervous about that? Or how do you gauge, hey, this is what he should do. Let's see if he does it.
I always tell my punt returner, get as many yards as you can. I don't, it's frustrating sometimes as an offensive coach when the ball bounces and it keeps rolling and rolling. I'm like, well, those are yards we're losing. So Isaiah does a great job back there for us with the punt return game, and he's done it for a couple of years now. And I think that might be his second or third punt return touchdown in high school. So Not many kids can say they do that.
He probably isn't done yet either. So that gives you the lead at 21-14. And then you hold and get the ball back, and you're deep in your own territory on the 30-yard line. And all of a sudden, it's 28-14 because you hit a 70-yard bomb. What was the route that Isaiah ran, and talk about that play?
Yeah, Coach Dirks, he works closely with me on offense, and we kind of changed it up a little bit. Like pitcher, he has to throw in a changeup every once in a while to keep them guessing. He ran the same route Mason does when we hit him over the middle. It's an RPO play. We call it Fireman because our other one's called Iron Man. So that's just signifying that play is going to our F position, which Isaiah plays. So great. It was a great adjustment by our coaching staff, getting that play in there for us. And yeah, we just saw an opening. Nobody's in the middle of the field, and we thought we could hit them over the middle. And our plan was to come out and kind of chew up some clock on the first possession of the second half. And well, we didn't do that. We just scored in one play. So
yeah. You had a pretty good yards per play average last night. I don't know what it was, but it was high, I'm sure. So you've got this 2-touchdown lead, and I think right before that, they had a really good drive and got down inside the 10-yard line, but you stopped them. You held them.
We did. Yep. Yeah. Our defense, we had a lot of stops on defense last night. So great job by them digging in their heels. We had a bend, don't break mentality. So really proud of them for making big plays and getting stops when we needed them.
Yeah. Got to have that. That defensive stops can really frustrate a team. Well, as an offensive coach, nothing worse than not being able to get a first down, move the ball, and not have a couple of series at least during your possession. So
exactly, it's easy. I feel like on offense to move the ball, but it's one of the hardest things as an offensive team to score in the red zone.
Yep.
And our defense they shined in the red zone last night.
That's outstanding. How many guys do you have, Chris, that go both ways right now?
A lot.
Yeah.
I would say probably between 5 and 7 players go both ways full time.
Okay. And that, do they handle it pretty well? You talked about fatigue kind of contributing to some penalties. Is that happening late in the game? Are they fatigued by playing both ways? Have you been able to get enough breaks for them?
Yeah, I noticed it mostly probably at the end of the game. Those are kind of key times when obviously in a football game that's where kids start to wear down.
Yep.
But I think our kids handle it really well. We just gotta, find ways to help them in those moments and being able to stay mentally focused and just, what can we do to help them excel in those moments. So that's what we're going to work on this week and try to get it figured out. Also get some other guys ready to play.
Yep. Well, and as the year goes on, you do see that. You see some depth developing. You get a little more confidence in kids who've been maybe putting in their time on the JV and helping out on the scout teams in practice and a week of preparation. And they start to emerge as players that coaches will have confidence in to come in key situations at the varsity level.
Exactly. So, yeah, beginning of the season and, when you don't have a lot of numbers is you kind of, you have to rely on your older guys that have experience. But then, those older guys, they start reeling off wins like this. And, those younger guys, that's the best competition for them, right? So in practice, they see them every day.
Yep.
They're going against, number one varsity players, a very good varsity team for that matter. And, they're starting to develop and gain that confidence and figure out how they have to play physically on Friday nights. So, yeah, as the season does go on, you do start developing that depth with your younger guys. They're not like sophomores, juniors, JV players anymore. They're become varsity players. Right. So it's really fun to watch that kind of develop.
I have to talk about your PAT team, too, because Josh Horgan's missed one extra point attempt out of, you scored a lot of touchdowns, so he's had a lot of chances. And again, we've talked about it before, the different elements that go into it with the snapper, the holder, the kicker, and, of course, the blocking. You have to have it all together. But, boy, you guys have got that down to a almost, I want to say, perfection there.
Yep, it's great to have that asset, being able to kick the point after attempt. That becomes, well, it's going to become key in big games as we keep going throughout our season. So have all the confidence in the world in them right now. They're doing a great job.
Yep. Next week, Ricori, what can you tell us about the Spartans?
They love to pass the ball.
Okay, pressure on the defense. Huh?
It's going to be a different style game that we're, didn't see last week, obviously. Yeah. So Princeton was a ground and pound team. Ricori likes to run spread formations and get the ball on the perimeter. So we're going to have to be ready with a different style of game. So I think our kids are looking forward to it. I know they are. So we'll see. We'll just have a great week of practice, going into Ricori and see what happens.
Got to be fun to go to practice right now. I know that. So
exactly.
Yeah, great job last night by your guys and your coaches, and 5-0 start. Got to love that. And I misspoke earlier. You're 15-1. I said 19-1.
Oh, sure, yeah.
My math is off today.
I don't pay attention to that. I just go to work every week and, as a coaching staff, do our best job getting these kids ready.
Well, I know you love it, and you've got a great crew. We've talked about your staff before, and your kids are buying in, is a phrase people like to say, but they believe in what you're teaching them, and it's coming out in a positive way on the field. So that's great.
Well, it makes it easy when you have great coaches around you and great football players around you, and that's what we have. So
that's right. All right. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Chris Grabowska, head coach of the Otter football team. Hey, remember, $25 gift certificate from the Viking going to somebody out there, but you need to text Viking to 321-1926 to get in on the drawing, okay? 321-1926, Viking is the key word. And we'll continue with more on the other side of the break on our Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program, the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe. Rachel Cox is joining us. She is the head coach of the Otter Girls Swimming and Diving Team. They were busy. Boy, you came off that homecoming week. You had your Otter Invite last Saturday, which was kind of the culmination of homecoming week. How did that all go? Because the girls are busy during that week.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the invite it's always fun. It's, we get to see some teams that we won't get to see again until sections. So it's a great chance to see what the other teams can bring, see where we stack up. But usually swimming a little bit tired. You got the homecoming dance the night before and whatnot. But we had some good swims overall. We got to see, some first place finishes that we don't usually get to see. So it was a fun meet.
Well, and there's usually a few extra events too
Yes.
in that meet, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. So a few 50s that you wouldn't normally
Right.
see in a dual meet, and another chance to see what those swimmers could bring to a possible relay. So it is a fun event.
And it's a special day for your seniors too,
Mhm.
right? Because that's your last Otter Invite.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we always like to set a goal at the beginning of the season to win the invite. It's an important meet to us, bringing all these teams to our pool. So it's always fun to come away with a win from that.
And you got them, so
Yes.
that's good. Can you give us a little insight to your relays right now and how they swam that day, but more importantly, how they're coming together for you at this stage of the season?
Sure. Our freestyle relays have been really strong this season. We're still kind of building in that medley relay, but we're still moving some things around. This week we're going to see Purim on Tuesday, and then we've got we're traveling to Tech on Thursday. But I have to have our true team lineup ready by the end of the week, so I've been putting a lot of thought into those relays, and so we're still trying some different things. We're trying to come up with the best possible combination. But we have really strong swimmers this year. Every swimmer that's on my JV varsity lineup can really swim anything. So I know I can move some people around and find the best combination.
Well, that's a lot of thought, isn't it? You have to put it, especially because you got to figure out, okay, where do they fit in individual events to make us stronger as a team? But then what's my best relay approach? And it's good to have options like
Yes.
you have,
Yes.
Because sometimes you don't have those options. You're kind of, what you have dictates what you have to do. But
Right.
so you've got a kind of a luxury there this year.
Yeah, we have a really big class of ninth graders this year. They're young, but they are strong, and I can put them really anywhere. So I've been able to test them a little bit and see what I've got coming up, but also use them this year in that varsity lineup.
Okay. Just looking at your winners from the Otter Invite, you had Estee Versteeg winning the 200, Evie winning the 100 IM, which is one of those events that's not a
Right.
normal one. Hannah Fear winning the 200 IM, Ace Oppie the 50 fly, another one that's not.
Yep.
Evie won the 100 fly, and Estee won the 100 free, and Olivia Jensen won the 500 free. I'm mentioning a lot of different names here.
Yes.
Sometimes you have that blue chipper who wins for you, and everybody else finishes second, third, fourth.
Right.
But you've got a lot of girls who are tasting, winning events. How does that help as far as confidence booster and just, the team scoring wise?
Yeah, it's huge. And I would say, despite being an individual sport like swimming is, the team that I've got this year is very team focused. They are all cheering each other on. They know where their strengths are. They like to support each other there. And like I said before, I've got people who are willing to fill in and try things that are maybe a little bit scary to them. I think at the invite, I had Olivia Jensen swimming the 200 IM, and that was a brand new event for her. And there were a lot of nerves, but she wanted to see what she could do there too. So they're willing to step up where I need them to, and it's huge.
And Olivia was the second out of first place.
Yeah.
And wow. So they answered the challenge,
Yes.
Do you give your girls an opportunity to give you input on, hey, coach, I really would love to swim this event?
Yes, I do. I ask for suggestions. They know that I've got the final say, but I want to know, like, hey, what do you want to work on? What do you want to try? What do you want to show me? So I take those conversations into account when I'm putting together those lineups. But oftentimes the lineup is dictated by where I think we can score the most points against our competition.
Sure. Sometimes in a season, one of the events is thin. You don't have enough flyers, or you don't
Right.
have enough breaststrokers. Do you have any events like that where you're kind of thin right now, or do you feel like every one of your four strokes is deep?
I've been telling the girls we're trying to build a little bit more in our backstroke and our breaststroke, and it's not that we don't have swimmers there, because we do. We just need to build them up a little bit more. We have like a gap where we've got a couple seniors who are swimming and then some ninth graders and kind of nothing in between. And so we want to make sure that when those seniors graduate, we've got people ready to fill into those spots. So just a little bit more on some of that stroke work, but I still think we're strong up and down the roster.
Let's switch to diving for a minute, because Ziamara Jacobson has really led you strong this year. She's not alone on the board. How have the divers progressed?
Well, we have a new diving coach this year. Megan Schertzing has joined our team. And yeah, Ziamara has really stepped up this year. And as a freshman, she's trying some new dives. I know Megan's got her working on some dives with a higher degree of difficulty, which means you can score some more points. So she's still growing in some of these new dives, but what we're seeing is really amazing. So I think she's gonna finish this season very strong.
And looking forward postseason, do you have some other divers that are going to be able to contribute to this year in the postseason?
So we've got our diving team is pretty young, like you said. So, I mean, Ziamara is kind of leading the charge. Cami Teisel is a sophomore, and she's kind of dabbled in diving a little bit here and there. But now this year, she's been taking that on a little bit more. Nora Fear, as an 8th grader, is, I think she just finally got to an 11 dive list, so they're going to test that out, I think, next weekend, and an invite and see what the divers can do with those 11 dives, because that's what you have to bring to True Team. You have to bring that to sections. So just some young divers that are trying it out and hoping to build our diving bench.
That's quite a process to go from beginning diver to being in a position where you can contribute at postseason, because like you said, you have to get 11 dives in your repertoire, and that's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So after that Otter invite, you wound up with a duel against Sauk Rapids Rice, and boy, that looked like it was a competitive night. You won the meet 97-88, but one of those tests for your team in a duel that you really kind of love to have.
Yeah. Last time we had Sauk Rapids at home, we beat them. Last year we went to Sauk Rapids, they beat us. And then coming back here, I really wanted that win at home. I knew Sauk Rapids was going to be our most competitive duel of the entire season. So the girls knew how I felt about it, the nerves that we had going in, knowing we were going to be challenged. But they stepped up to that challenge, and it was close. When your meet comes down to that 400 free relay at the end, I've got Estee Versteeg standing next to me looking at the point saying, okay, what do we need to win? So if we get a first, or if we get a second, but if we get a second, we also need a second, third. So, I mean, we're kind of running those strategies before they get behind the block, but securing that first place finish really just kind of shut the door, and we knew we were going to win at that point.
Yeah, but how nice is it to have an experienced group of freestylers in that final event in a meet like that, or at an invite to, you can rely on them to go out in most cases and get it done for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That relay has been strong. Our 400 free relay has been strong. Our 200 free relay has been strong. So yeah, I know what I'm going to get out of them, and I can put them really in any situation and know that they're going to come out on top.
So knowing that, are Ella Kopinski, Evie Versteeg, Olivia Jensen, and Estee Versteeg going to be in that 400 free relay from here on, Rachel?
We're still going to try some other things.
Okay.
We'll have a little bit of some changes probably this week. We're still trying to find the absolute best fit going into True Team and going into sections.
I know it's hard to surprise coaches, but what has surprised you the most with this group? Are there any swimmers who have kind of exceeded your expectations right now, or what really impresses you right now about what you're seeing?
Well, like we were talking about Evie Versteeg. She has had a really strong season this year, coming up in the 200 IM, and she's always been strong in the 100 fly, but even dropping some more time there. Like I said, I've got a big class of 9th graders, and I know they did some training over the summer, so they came in very strong. Bryn Pausch has been excellent in the 50 free and in the breaststroke. Ashton Kep has been great for us in the 100 freestyle, the 200 free. Marissa Toma has been killing it in the 200 free. She can fill in the 500 when I need her there. She's coming up in the backstroke. So I just have some really strong 9th graders that put in a lot of work over the summer, and they wanna compete on this team. They want their spot. So that has been surprising. I was pleasantly surprised coming into this season and just seeing how strong they started.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
And you also, to me, the challenge of filling the 500 sometimes, you seem to have some swimmers there who are up for the challenge and want to swim that event. And finding swimmers who want to swim that event isn't always easy, right?
No, it's not. The 500 is one of those mental games because it's long. I would say most of my swimmers would say the 200 IM is similar like that because it hurts the whole thing. That's a lot of energy expended. But yeah, they're all willing to step up and take their turn where I need them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you get a home meet Tuesday with Perham and then go to St. Cloud. You have a long season compared to a lot of other teams because tennis starts postseason Monday. You're like,
we just finished halfway.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So does that get to be a concern here? The endurance, the mental endurance, the physical, keeping everybody healthy and focused. They're kind of this is a tough time of the season for you.
It is. My swimmers have been coming to me and saying, "Oh, I'm just so tired. I don't feel like I can sprint as fast as I want to sprint. I'm just not making those times I want to make them." Well, and they're making great times, but they're still thinking I should be dropping. But we're swimming tired because we are not backing off on the training. So, we swim 5,700 yards, and then we got to meet the next day. We put in a lot of yards. We've been working very hard, knowing that that's also going to show up in our performance, but we've got longer goals when it comes time for sections.
Yep. They'll understand at section time why all this is going on.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And a lot of them know anyway because they've been through it.
Exactly.
But just got to weather the tough time here.
And knowing it's coming up and then seeing a time on the board that you're not happy with, it still still makes them a little upset. But I hope they trust me and they trust the process. It's going to get us where we need to be.
Absolutely. Great. Rachel, thanks for coming in, talking about your girls. Great season going, and keep it rolling and keep everybody healthy. That's the whole key. So
well, thanks for having me.
All right. Great to have you on. Rachel Cox is the head coach of the Otter Girls Swimming and Diving team. And we're going to continue our coaches show after this break as we will talk volleyball with Sabrina Noon. And unlike Rachel and her Otters, they had kind of a light week. So we'll find out how it went for them after this timeout. You're watching and listening to the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton. There's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Hey, welcome back to the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe. Remember to text Viking to 321-1926, and we'll be checking in on that a list of qualifiers and see who wins a $25 gift certificate to the Viking Cafe. Sabrina Noon is with us. She's the head coach of the Otter volleyball team. They had a really busy week a week ago, homecoming week, and a weird week because homecoming week, we want to be home. They weren't. They were on the road twice. But the Otters this week had a light week. You had just one duel.
One duel,
Yep.
and it was great. We got to incorporate our youth night for that night. So that's our youth and autograph night. So it brings a lot of people in the gym, and our youth get to come in and wear their shirts and line up our girls and give high fives. So that's always super fun.
And the numbers are really good, aren't they? In that
They
youth
are
group?
really good. It's really neat because, we run our youth program in the fall, and our volleyball players are the ones helping them with their skills. And so it's kind of neat that they build those relationships with the younger players. So those little girls fighting for those balls when they're handing them out is always, I know it's torn between some girls. They want to give them all a ball. So
Right. We need more balls, Coach.
Yeah.
So 25-9, 25-12, 25-19, you came on kind of asserted yourselves right away in that match.
Yeah, it was it was a really good week to just kind of our week was really focused on skills and focusing on things that we needed to do better as a team. And we don't take games lightly, but we were excited for Thursday just to kind of have a little break in our brain a little bit with the craziness of the week before. So that part was really good. We have an injury on our team. Brooke Zierden is out right now. So it was actually a good week kind of almost for her to be out as well, to not have her with some really big, heavy games. So hopefully we'll have her back by next week. But the girls that came in and played on our court did amazing on Thursday night. And that was Elizabeth Clinert and Presley Warren. They came in. Elizabeth Clinert, she unleashed her strength on the outside, and she had some really good kills. And Presley Warren did too. And she had a really strong serving game as well from the back row. So that was really fun to watch. She was back there with confidence, serving tough, hard serves. And that's always fun to see out of a sophomore.
Yeah, and 9 kills for Elizabeth? That was that led your team.
Yeah.
That night. So and again, Maddie Brimhall and Aubrey Ade have combined at your setter spot, and they just seem to really click. No matter who's in the rotation at the time doing the setting, they're doing it for you.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They accent each other really well. We do a little something different where we have kind of a modified 5-1. Maddie sometimes goes in the front row for Aubrey, and she can create a really good block up there. Aubrey's working really hard on her block. She's setting it really well. And then it gives us another big attack option sometimes in the front row, which is really fun to see. Sometimes it always sparks our team when we can get a big kill out of our right front front setter. So that's really fun. But yes, our girls are doing a really good job. It was really fun last night running different routes on Thursday, running different routes too. Things that we don't always get to do in some games. So when I'm talking about running routes, my middles, coming behind my setter and hitting a ball. And it's something that we practice all the time anyways. It sometimes has to happen regardless due to where the pass is at. And my poor middles get the grunt of it, honestly. So they always have to try and find a way to get in our offense. And sometimes it's extremely hard. And Carly Hurst and Rachel DeBrito have been working really hard on working on their routes, making sure they're still part of our offense wherever our pass is. And they're doing a really good job. It is frustrating. And sometimes, I never played a middle, obviously, but I like to play middle sometimes when I'm in the Y League or whatever. And I remember when I'm in there, I feel like I'm just turning circles. And I always feel like I'm in the wrong place. And that's exactly what a middle feels like all the time, is they are blocking, they're hitting, they really work hard up there. So you got to give credit to them sometimes because it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
You got to be where you're needed, when you're needed.
Yes. Yeah.
Figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's a lot more complex than the casual fan would understand. I think watching it, and certainly different than the family pickup game at a picnic or something, you know.
Yeah.
You talk about running the routes and the back setting that setters have to get timing down on with their hitters, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
No.
It was actually really fun. We're starting to incorporate our back row a little bit more. I think we're getting more comfortable using our back row for hitting as well. And when Izzy's in the back row, Isabella Lamberg,
Yep.
they like to set some balls to the back row to her. And it's actually kind of really unexpected for teams to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of teams in our CLC do that. But our setters like to incorporate that. And it's really fun when it works out in our favor.
Sure.
She's got a really nice back row attack. So that's really fun to see. But yeah, it's things that we still do out of the box that definitely benefits our team. So it's really fun to watch this year and see them want to challenge themselves more.
And Izzy had 7 aces for you that night, so your serving was good too.
She was really fun on the line the other night. I mean, I was giving her spots and she was just nailing them. So, you know, we always try and work on areas of the court that we want to serve. A lot of times we want to avoid the libero,
Sure.
and we want to hit corners and we want to hit seams. And short serves are just something that are really hard to master. We have a really couple really good short servers. Jada Day is one of them. She can just slice it over the net sometimes. I don't know how she does it. And then Izzy was really hitting her spots. Renee was sitting watching on the court, and she was talking to some people on the bench, and she goes, "Watch where Sabrina's giving the spot," and then she'd nail it, and it really worked out in her favor. So it was fun. It was fun. Those nights are fun.
It's so easy. Right?
Yeah.
Not really. You talk about avoiding the other team's libero when possible, and I'm sure a lot of teams try to avoid your libero because Hannah Johnson's done such a great job keeping plays alive and making that first pass.
Yes. Hannah Johnson, she does a great job. She's a great communicator. You know, we try and get her in the mix of most of our serve receives, and she does a really good job of owning that. And our team, it's kind of interesting because sometimes we have to shift a little bit. We have a lot of good passers actually on our team, but there's times where we shift, and there's times when, you know, we might be lacking in communication. And what can help in that process is like, all right, Hannah, you're passing most of the balls. And the girls are like, okay. And they respect it. And she's earned that respect from her teammates. So that's super exciting. And she takes it on. And so that's a really nice tool to have as well for our team when we're having those bouts. And then also when we shift, and when I say shift, you know, we can move girls. We're obviously restricted on how we can shift due to being we have to be in a certain rotation. But, you know, there's ways to work around it. And our girls have really gained the knowledge now to shift in different ways that gives us a lot more possibilities. And that can help us out in areas when we're really struggling to get a pass up. And so that's really fun to see as well, where I don't have to explain so much. They just do it and they move on to the next play. So that's great too.
Well, as easy and light as this last week was, Sabrina, the coming week is going to get you. You go to Brainerd Tuesday, DL Thursday, and then an Alexandria Invitational on Saturday.
Yeah. It's going to be a great, fun, busy week again. You know, honestly, Brainerd and DL on the roads are going to be really tough games because it's really interesting the crowds that those two programs bring in. And I mean, it's actually the times when my program gets into the games more because they want to beat the other crowd out. And so actually the energy in the gym is really fun. DL's crowd is going to be where our mental game needs to be at because they always have a really good cheering crowd, and their students section is really, really big at our games. And so it can really mess with your head sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we just have to make sure that we're on our game, and we're going to make the adjustments. We've already played them this year. It was a tough game last time. And I really feel that if we make the adjustments that we're going to do great.
Okay.
So yeah,
Good deal.
Yeah.
And we'll miss you next Saturday because you're going to be at that Alex invite.
Yep, we'll be in Alec. And then today actually is our youth night. So Thursday was our youth night for them to come and, support our girls. And today at Kennedy, if anyone is, wanting something to do, our youth 4th through 6th grade is called Show Their Skills. And so they get to do some little games.
Oh, okay.
And so they'll have some bleachers out and people can come and watch little kids try and learn the game of volleyball.
Sounds like a blast.
Oh, yes.
All right. Enjoy the day. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Sabrina Noon, head coach of the Outer Volleyball team. And we're going to continue. We'll talk boys soccer. Joel Heikus is here on the other side of the break as the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe, continues after this time out.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program. Hey, your last chance to text right now, 321-1926. The keyword is Viking for a chance at a $25 Viking gift certificate from the Viking Cafe. So do that now because before the last interview, we'll tell you who the winner of that certificate is. Joel Heikus is here to talk Otter boys soccer. A light week for the Otters, but a good week, Joel. You have only one match during a week. You want to win it.
Absolutely, yeah. And we been on the road quite a bit lately, so on the road last week as well against St. Cloud Apollo. And, came back with a really good win out of that one.
But it was a struggle to score a goal in that one for both teams for a while.
Yep. First half was a little back and forth. Good intensity though the whole time, and it was just a matter of time till we could get it to open up and take care of that.
Yeah, scoreless at halftime. But you did mention in your report that you had the better of the play at the beginning. Did you find yourself creating some opportunities, just not able to finish them?
Yeah. So we started right out of the gun really well. We got down in the offensive zone, and we held it there for probably a good 5-6 minutes. Maybe only one or two opportunities there. But then we had looks the first half. We had one that we missed just a little bit, of really good look, and we just missed a little bit, and their keeper was doing a decent job. So. Yeah, we talked about a few things in the second half, and didn't take long into the second half, about 6-7 minutes in, and I think the first goal was a throw in from Quinn Wynn Sheldon, and perfectly placed ball, and Beja did the rest. He just dribbled it in and took a tough angle, but wow, just threaded it in there. And once we got that one, then we were hyped, and that was a lot of fun. And then a little bit later, I don't remember what second and third one was, but I think Beja got the second one too. Really nice ball from Cooper. Miller sent a ball up, through ball kind of, didn't get all the way through the defense, but Beja just took a couple steps into the center of the field and took just a great shot, put us up 2-0, and then it was fun. A little bit later, Drew Johnson got in on the action, and Isaiah Lawson, we call him Ricky, he brought it up on the right side and took a shot, and the good hard shot, and the keeper just couldn't quite contain it. Popped out, and Drew was right there just to put it in for the 3-0 lead or win, and that was a lot of fun to see the scoring get spread around a little bit. And Drew's a senior, so that was a lot of fun for him.
Now, Beja has scored a lot of goals for you.
Yep.
Is he one of the purest goal scorers you've coached? Or does he?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, he gets the job done.
Yeah.
He works hard, and he's very good with the ball. He's young, so what we've been working on is using your other players to increase your opportunities to score, because he's very good with ball control, but a lot of times he's dribbling into pressure, 2, 3, 4 sometimes defenders, and then it gets just too clumped up. There's not likely a chance. So he's gotten a lot better over this season and last season, then dropping that out of pressure. That'll open him up, and now he gets better. So yeah, years to come, he's going to be really fun to watch. Yeah.
Is your team consistently kind of having the upper side as far as ball control, possession of the ball? Are you doing what you need to do there to have that advantage?
That's a main focus in some games, better than others. But like last or the week before when we played Sartell, I would say they control the ball really well, and they always have. They got a good coach, Matt. There, he's coaches them up very well, and I was happy with the team this year because it was much closer. Years past, sometimes we'll get 30, maybe 40% possession. This year was a lot closer. I think we had 56% 46% possession in that game, which against Sartell is really good, and the results showed it. That was a 2-1 game. Marshall Fellbaum scored a goal in that one, and really, just when you're controlling the ball, it gives you opportunities. So it's a main focus, and we're improving every year. And there's been a number of games we've been in that 60, 65% possession range, which is always a good thing.
Aiden Godwin got the shutout for you, but shutouts in soccer are team efforts, obviously, up and down the line, the defense, the midfield, preventing opportunities for the opposing team. But the bottom line, that last line of defense is your goalie. So how pleased are you with what you're seeing from Aiden back there, first of all?
Well, he's getting more aggressive every game, and I'm really liking that. That aggressiveness is very important. And he had a good game. He had some really good saves. But like I say, team effort. Quinn Wynn got back in the net and saved. The ball was bouncing around, and he totally stopped a shot that game too. So it saved at least one goal. He might have had 2. And our defense was looked a little different that game because we were missing Alec Prishman. I can't remember the last time he was out of a game, and so we went in trying some different things, but. Lucas Toole stepped in and did a great job, and our defense as a whole just stepped up to fill in. And Alec's a hard one to lose because he's a senior with a lot of experience, and so we're hoping he's back today. We'll see. We don't want to push it if he's not quite ready, but we're hoping he's back for today's game. So.
And today is Hillcrest, so that's always fun, good competition. You're going to get a well-coached team with Rod Jensen's Comets out there, and a lot of these kids know each other, and there's just that extra kind of feel of intensity maybe, or you really want that crosstown rivalry, you want to get that win. How do you match up with the Comets?
Oh, the Comets are playing good this year. I think we match up pretty well, but like you say, it's with that crosstown rival, it's just a different game. You whether either team is doing really well in the season or not, you come into that game with a different excitement, and it's always close. Ever since I've started coaching, it's always been a back and forth nail biter. We've had shootouts. We've had, so it's, we're going to come in with intensity, and it should be a great day. We have Youth Day out there today. So, and Minnesota Motors is picking up the gate fee. So so everybody, get as many people out there as we can. It'll be fun. We got some stuff going on for the youth kids, and recognize the parents and stuff. So it'll be a fun day.
Well, they've got a goalie that's pretty hot too, Will Selvig, and their defense is they're kind of like a mirror image of you, I think, from the back lineup.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of shutouts. They got a lot of speed back there, and then of course Zane up top is always just a dangerous weapon, and we've got a long relationship with him too, and Drew Fisher both. We've coached them for a long time in the summer stuff. So yeah, they've got a good program. It'll be a really fun game.
1:00 today at the Otter Stadium for that one. Now you've got a busy week because Monday you get DL in town, and then Tech on Tuesday. We'll have both of those games on Channel 977 FM, and then video streaming through the Fergus Now app and the KBRF YouTube channel. So a couple of opportunities for the fans to see you in action. What type of opponents are we looking at there with DL and Tech?
Well, DL's been struggling a little bit lately. So, we'll go into that one and be ready, because they're kind of a rival, DL is, and they've got a really good goalie. So we'll have to bring some energy to that one. Tech is probably the top of our section, so that one will be a challenge. That'll should show us where we're at and how we line up for the playoffs ahead. But this year, every game is kind of any guy's game. So we're excited for both of them. We're really happy to have Tech at home.
Yep,
that should kind of helps a little bit. So those will be very, very competitive.
And then Pelican next Saturday.
Yep, Pelican on Saturday in Pelican.
Yep.
And of course, kind of the same thing there. Pelican's a scrappy team that always brings good competition. So
yeah, John Peters built a really good program over there. So that'll be a battle for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get Alec healthy, number one, right, and keep everybody else healthy, because we're getting down there, Joel. We turned the calendar to October this week. So.
Yeah, we're ending with a busy time, and then after next week, then it's playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
all right, very good. Well, thanks for coming in. Good win over Apollo.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Craig.
Today, 1:00, it's Hillcrest and Fergus Falls at the Otter Stadium Field, and then we have the two home games again on the radio and the video stream Monday and Tuesday from the Otter Stadium as well. Nice to have a string of home games after all those road games. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We're going to get the winner of our $25 Viking Cafe certificate, and we'll talk with Norm Newell about the Otter girls tennis team. They start the playoffs Monday. We'll give you more on that after we return from this break on the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Chevy Truck Month is back at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. To celebrate, customers can take advantage of finance offers like 2.9% APR, price reductions, trade assistance, customer cash, and more. Contact the sales team for information and visit the Minnesota Motor Company website to view their impressive inventory. Together, let's drive. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare is proud to be trusted and recommended by parents and coaches, athletes, and families. Keeping healthcare close to home for local athletes and all their fans. Find us online at lrhc.org.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls and Grand Forks is your shopping stop for America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Whether you're towing, hauling, or just enjoying the open road, we have a truck for you. Half, 3/4, and 1 ton, there's a truck for every job. Stop and visit or shop any of our stores at NelsonAutoCenter.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls, and Grand Forks.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program, Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe. And true to my word here, we're going to tell you who the winner is of that $25 Viking Cafe certificate, and it is Nikki Fleck. So, Nikki, you get a $25 gift certificate from the Viking, and the hard part is, what are you going to order? I mean, there's so many good things on the menu, right? But if you're like me, you got your go-to anyway, so you'll probably know already. But thanks to Pat Scholl and the Viking Cafe for allowing us to present a gift certificate every week, and Nikki Fleck is our winner this week. Also, Running Stitches Embroidery is one of our sponsors. They have these very nice caps, and I'm going to present one to Norm Newell. Can add to your collection, Norm.
Wow, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Wear it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
They do a nice job, for sure.
Sure do.
Yeah, they're
Thank
one
you.
of our sponsors, and
Yeah.
we'll see if that brings you luck on the tennis court. Not that you need it. I mean, you still got a pretty good game, from what I hear.
Well, not so much me anymore, but the girls have a pretty good game. Yeah.
They're giving you some challenges, aren't they,
Oh,
those
definitely,
girls?
yeah.
And Norm, I've got to do it, and I know you're a humble guy, but Norm went into the District 544 Hall of Fame last Saturday night, and I've got to tell you, it was just a special night all the way around. Norm's three boys, who are all former Otters and Fergus grads, were back, and the whole tennis team, or whoever could make it, filled the first two rows in the auditorium for their assistant coach and the guy that's worked with them through the years. A lot of these girls, Norm, you've worked with since they were like the first time they picked up a racket.
Yeah, first of all, thank you. It was an absolutely special night. My son from Charlotte, North Carolina, surprised me by coming, and so that was really added to the day or made it so special. And then the tennis girls showed up too. I didn't know they were coming, and that was very special too. But yes, for example, I guess Ashton Lill, who was a senior this year, I started tennis lessons with her after her 5th grade year, in the summer after her 5th grade. So we've been together, whatever that is, 8 years.
Yeah,
something like that.
wow.
And a lot of these other senior girls now started with lessons shortly after that, and it's been a great ride for me. I appreciate Jamie Lill so much for letting me tag along with these girls over the last few years. It's been very special.
Well, I know she speaks highly of you and Roy Anderson, who was another assistant and worked with so many young kids as well.
Roy has been my assistant coach through my head coach years as a boys coach and as a girls coach, all those years. Just an absolutely wonderful guy, wonderful with the kids, boys or girls, doesn't matter. He sheds the limelight. He's being assistant coach is fine with him. He's worked a lot of the JVs and gotten all the girls ready to step up the varsity, kind of a real behind-the-scenes guy, but he's the guy you want on your team.
I loved what Derek Abraham said when he was talking about you. He said, yeah, I'm back in the saddle as the head coach of the boys now, but before I took the position, I called Norm and said, hey, Norm, will you be my assistant? So he was banking on you, and now you're doing that too.
Yeah, Derek and I go back a great number of years also, and another great guy to be around.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a great run too. What a fun year. Jamie talks about it all the time. This is such a fun group to work with, and they're so dedicated, and they're good workers, but they study the game. They study their opponents. Just kind of summarize what this year has been like, because the wins and losses have been pretty impressive too. 19-2, but there's more to tennis or any sport than wins and losses.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but but hard work, of course, is a key. You know, we have summer camps where now it's gotten to the point where I just throw some balls out and tell them keep it between the white lines. They've gotten to that level where you don't have to do a lot of other instruction stuff, but they would show up. They just show up, and they work hard even in these summer camps. They don't let up, and they don't play around a lot, so to speak. They come out and they got themselves even better this summer, even though they were great last year. So and then probably the only time some of those girls would miss a week of summer camp, they'd be on a mission trip somewhere.
Mhm.
That's the kind of girls they are. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And the wins, like I said, have kind of taken care of themselves with this group. That hard work pays off, and they've fine-tuned their game to a point where they're the favorites every time they go on the court almost. They beat Becker 5-2 and beat Foley 5-2 to start the week, and then beat Sartell 7-0. I think everybody, though, is focused. You know, those are 3 solid wins, but everybody had their focus on that Alexandria rematch, right?
Yeah, Alexandria has a really strong team. They're well coached, have a really strong team. Same as us. They have a great group of athletes, and all coming together at the right time. And we focused on him a lot this last week, and we weren't able to take that when we lost the third doubles match as the last match on the court to lose 4-3. But analogous to basketball, it'd be like losing 80-76 in overtime. It was 2 points here or there right at the very end that made the difference.
And how does a match with a team like that at this stage of the season, when you're entering playoffs next week, how does that help your team get ready for this playoff run?
It helps greatly, actually. There's no better way to get better than to play top competition. There just isn't.
Yep.
And in tennis, that's key. And it also sharpens their mental focus. I mean, they were mentally focused for this match, and you know we didn't get quite to where we wanted to get to in that match, but we all came away satisfied with how great we played. You should have seen the first singles match with Ruby Olson and Addison Stevenson. She's a top player, and they were pounding the ball 100 miles an hour to each other back and forth, and it was real close. As a second set was a 7-6 tiebreaker. That was a top-level tennis match.
How about Ruby? I mean, #1 singles player. You get the toughest player every match that the other team can throw at you, and she's had a remarkable career, not alone this season.
Yes, she is, you know, the definition of a top player, I guess. She's 23-2 this year, all for singles.
Wow.
She's played a couple of doubles matches, I guess, but to have 23 wins at first singles, the top spot, playing all these top level players, and it's such a blessing for your team to go out there and know that you pretty well know you've got to win at the top slot when you go to the match. Yeah. And so a little more relief for the rest of the players on the team to know they just take care of their business, things will be good. So, and she's just an athlete. You know, you've seen her on the basketball court.
Yep.
And she's just an athlete.
And so many of these kids, Jamie and I talked about this a couple of times, have reached milestones as far as career wins. And you use one basketball analogy already, but talk about 1,000-point scorers in basketball. How does that equate to what we're seeing from these girls as far as career wins?
Yeah, absolutely the same. I think absolutely the same. I happened to look up a few numbers, and Ashton Lill, of course, she's played since 7th grade. She started as a 7th grader. She's got 116 wins. That would be kind of like in volleyball having 2,000 set assists or whatever, or
kills
or whatever. And Hattie Fullhart has got 82 wins, Ruby's 86, and all three of those, the last couple of years, they've all been playing at the one level. They've been playing at the top level and getting those wins. And so that's just a sign of how good they are. And Jamie probably wouldn't do this, but I got to talk about her twin daughters.
Yeah.
They started in 7th grade, played third doubles for us. They were 20-2.
Wow.
In 7th grade. And they both have 60 wins already in 3 years. That's averaging 20 wins a year. That's think of your best baseball pitcher
Yeah.
They get 20 wins a year. I mean, they make $1 million.
Exactly.
Or millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So it's been just a fantastic grouping of athletes all coming together at the same time. It's just really fun to watch.
You're talking about numbers that are never going to be touched in Otter, at least not in our lifetime, probably.
No, I don't think. I think the 116 wins is probably, I don't know what the next one is, but far above what any other Otter girls tennis players ever gotten. So.
Well, you're a numbers guy, so thanks for sharing those.
Yeah, right.
So let's look at the playoffs, because the Otters got the number 1 seed, which I don't think was a surprise to anybody at all. But the bonus there, you get to host a couple of matches. You win the first one, you get a second one, right?
Yes, right. Yeah, both the first 2 rounds of the section are at home of the high seed, which is we got the number 1. So on Monday, we will play Sauk Rapids Rice, who we beat during the year 7-0. And, we certainly hope and expect to have a victory out of that. I think that match got moved back to 4:30. It was originally on the schedule at 3:30, and it's moved back to 4:30 just so kids aren't taken out of school too early. And that if we win that one on Wednesday, we would play another home match, and it would be probably Little Falls or DL, I think, are the 4 and 5 seeds. So we would play them. We played Little Falls only once, beat them 5-2. We played DL twice, I believe. One was 7-0, the other 6-1. So, we feel we have a good chance there. And then if we win those 2, the finals isn't until the end of the following week, and it's played indoors at the Sartell indoor courts there. And that would very likely be Perham, who we beat 4-3 in a close match during the year. It was the only match we played. That's why we got the number 1 seed. Okay. They're a tough team. And they've got a very tough number 1 singles player, too. So
and individual tournament starts, too, this week on Friday, I think?
Yes, Friday is the individual tournament. That's indoors at Sartell. And we just sent in who we're going to have at individuals. And in a little twist there, we decided to go with Ruby and Ashton at first doubles.
Oh, okay.
Ruby loves to play doubles. She played a lot of doubles this summer in our summer camps. And they think they've got a good chance to go to state that way and do something at state. That's their hope, of course.
All right.
And then our second doubles team will be Hattie Fullhart and Dylan Lill.
Okay.
And watching them in practice, they're pretty tough.
All right.
Yeah.
Norm, we're up against the clock, so I've got to cut it off. But thank you. Great stuff. I appreciate you, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you much.
All right. And
appreciate
we'll
it.
Be back next week with another Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
Thank you for joining us for the News Talk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and Running Stitches.